segment of Joy in Our Town. I'm your host, Felicia Taylor, and joining me in studio is Donna Jackson with the Alabama Department of Transportation, and we're going to talk Drive Safe Alabama. Welcome to our show.
Thank you so much, Felicia. I
Absolutely.
appreciate you having me here today.
Great. And of course, today, Donna, we're going to talk about bad drivers in Montgomery, excluding you and I, of course.
Of course.
But yeah, really, the driving, the distracted driving, the texting while driving, all those things that are going on that are causing accidents here in our area.
Right, exactly. Yeah, we have an initiative at the Alabama Department of Transportation called Drive Safe Alabama, and that's just our effort to make sure people are driving safely. Just, educating them on what a safe driver is, how to operate safely on our roadways, whether you're driving a vehicle, riding a motorcycle, walking even, or on a bicycle.
Donna, how many traffic accidents, we'll say, in the past year, have occurred in our area?
Well, when you're looking at Alabama, there have been about 126,000 accidents in 2013. It's a little too early to have statistics for 2014, but those were the numbers in 2013, and about 8,000 of those occurred here in Montgomery County.
From previous years, would you say that that's like an increase or decrease from previous years?
It depends on what type of accident really you're talking about. You're looking at your fatal crashes or crashes that have injuries. Usually there's a little bit of a decline lately in those, simply because people are starting to pay more attention. Some areas are have higher crash volumes than others, depending on traffic conditions and just the number of people on the roads.
What are our most common causes for most of the traffic accidents that occur?
Well, there can be a lot of causes for accidents. When you look at things like road conditions because of weather, that can be a cause for an accident. You can look at vehicle conditions. People who do not maintain their vehicles put themselves at a higher risk for an accident. But we have determined that in our research that the top 4 reasons for crashes that cause injuries and fatalities are people failing to wear their seatbelt, people who are speeding, people who are distracted while behind the wheel, and then people who drive while under the influence of alcohol or drugs.
Drive Safe Alabama again. Let's elaborate a little bit more on that, and how long has it been in place?
Drive Safe Alabama was actually an initiative that came out of the 2012 Strategic Highway Safety Plan. That is a plan that the Alabama Department of Transportation is required to produce. The Federal Highway Administration actually requires us to produce that. So Drive Safe Alabama came out of that Strategic Highway Safety Plan. Drive Safe Alabama in itself is an education program and information program to help people operate safely on the roadways. The Strategic Highway Safety Plan in and of itself incorporates other things like making sure we have safe features on our roadways, and then looking at engineering of bridges and roads to make sure those are safe for drivers as well.
Do you feel that this particular program can help or even educate what we are calling our distracted drivers?
Absolutely. Like I mentioned just a few moments ago, distracted driving is one of the top 4 causes of fatal crashes and crashes with injuries. People sometimes don't understand that distracted driving doesn't just mean that you're on your phone or your mobile device. It can also mean any distraction that prevents you from focusing 100% on the road in front of you. So you can be looking at adjusting your radio or GPS in your vehicle. Talking to other people can be a distraction. Reading something, even if it's not on a mobile device, or grooming. Some people, we will see them fixing their hair or makeup. And distracted driving is not just a teenager problem. Some people also believe that, our teenagers tend to be the most distracted because they are always on their mobile devices. But distracted driving can affect anyone of any gender and of any age. We have business people who are on their mobile devices, and then we have others that are doing other things that distract them behind the wheel.
And speaking of mobile devices, let's talk and please elaborate on those that are driving or texting while driving, because we know here lately that has just been like a common theme for people, and accidents occur it appears more often,
Right.
you know, in that area.
Right. Yes. Texting is probably the largest item when you talk about distracted driving. That's probably the largest problem, is being on a mobile device. And people just need to know that when they choose to be on their mobile device, they are putting their life at risk and the lives of others around them. It is a choice that you can make that can be a life or death decision. And people need to just turn that cell phone on silent, leave it in their purse or briefcase, or if you feel so compelled that you don't feel like you could leave it behind, then put it in the back seat of your car or in the trunk while you're driving. And just don't take the chance, because there are loved ones around you that want you to arrive safely at your destination, and they would be devastated to learn that you caused an accident or were involved in one because you were texting and driving.
Donna, to your knowledge, what are the consequences that one would face if, you know, they're driving and texting?
Right. Well, there are some areas that have laws against using mobile devices while behind the wheel. And you know, the consequences for that is you can actually, you know, receive a citation if that is the cause of an accident. There are areas where you can receive an extra citation if that is the cause of an accident. That citation could affect your driving record. It could be, you know, if it was bad enough, I suppose they could actually revoke your license, you know, if there was repetitive action there, as well as, you know, fines and things like that. Here at ALDOT, we are not, you know, primarily educated in all of the different punitive things. Law enforcement handles that for us, but there are definite consequences outside of just putting your life at risk, which is the biggest consequence.
Absolutely. And in general, let's talk about ways that drivers can be safe on the highways.
Well, first of all, a safe driver is one that follows our traffic laws. And those laws are in place to create a safe environment on our highways. So first of all, people need to be paying attention to the traffic signs that are around them. Going back before they even get on the road, though, as soon as they sit in that vehicle, they need to be putting their seatbelt on, because our statistics show that most people who die in injuries are not wearing a seatbelt. And that's just a simple choice that people can make as soon as they enter the car. So beyond wearing your seatbelt and following traffic laws, you know, don't be distracted. Prevent those distractions from happening while you're behind the wheel. And then watch for others around you. Driving is not just about you and your vehicle. It's about the circumstances that are going on around you. Other vehicles, pedestrians who are possibly on the roadway. And then, you know, if some emergency vehicles that need to get by. So just be aware of your surroundings while you're behind the wheel.
And even in most accidents, to your knowledge, do they occur on our regular roads, or is it more accidents on the interstate?
Well, people tend to think that our interstates tend to have, you know, the most crashes. There are crashes on all types of roads, interstates, our streets in our neighborhoods, our county roads. Our statistics show, though, that most fatal crashes occur on rural highways, our rural county roads, and usually those accidents are at night. So people need to pay special attention when they're driving at night on rural roads. The Alabama Department of Transportation does have some safety measures in place for our rural highways. Rumble strips are one of the safety features that we have on those outlying roads, and if you are familiar with that, when you veer off the road, it makes a noise.
Makes the noise.
Yeah, it makes the noise to alert you that you are, you know, entering the edge of the roadway and to get you back into your lane. So those are just, you know, some of the safety features that are in place there to keep our people safe on our roads.
And then, too, I see on most of your rural roads, even the speed limit. There's a different speed limit than when you're on the interstate.
That's correct.
You know, and rural roads tend to be a little bit more windy, you know, than our regular roads and interstates.
Exactly. Speed limits are set based on the safety of the roadway. So obviously you're allowed to go faster on an interstate highway. You tend to have more straight, a more straight path. You have more lanes, so there's, you know, more room for adjustment. Where your rural highways are usually 2-lane roads. They could be curvy, as you mentioned. They could be hilly. There could be sections where visibility is limited. And so, you know, paying attention to the speed limit on those roads will definitely be able to keep you safe.
Do you think it's good for people to have a refresher course on the laws of the roads and different things like that? You know, because like once we get our license, we go and we get them renewed, but we never ever really keep up with the rules and regulations when it comes to the roadways.
Exactly. The Alabama Law Enforcement Agency is the one that publishes our driver safety manual, and they do have that online that is updated as laws change and as things go on, so you can always access that there. Our Drive Safe Alabama website, drivesafealabama.org, also has a safety quiz that features a lot of the different driving laws and rules, and so you can actually go there and take the quiz and see how you measure up on your safety and how much you know.
That's excellent. That's great to know. Realistically, Donna, you know, we would love to see no accidents, you know, but what are some of the things where we can diminish the amount of accidents that we say happens within the 25-year radius or what have you?
Right. We do have part of our initiative is called Toward Zero Deaths across a 25-year period.
Okay.
And you're right, it is hard to imagine our highway system and our interstates with no deaths. However, we're trying to work toward that. We're trying to reduce the amount of crashes and the amount of injuries and fatalities. So some of these things that we talked about, you know, wearing your seatbelt and not being distracted behind the wheel and following the laws, not speeding. Those are all ways that people can help reduce our crashes and then reduce our injuries and fatalities on our roadways.
And then even the maintenance, and you mentioned it earlier, and the upkeep on our streets and our roadways are important as well, because sometimes you can hit that one bad pothole and you may blow out your tire, or it may come off altogether. So
exactly, yes, we do. Obviously, the Alabama Department of Transportation has quite an extensive, you know, system of roadways across our state to maintain, and we do try to maintain those in all areas of the state, Montgomery included, so that our drivers can be safe and operate their vehicles safely. But the one who needs to take the most responsibility is whoever's behind the wheel of that car, to make sure that they are doing what they need to do to get where they're going safely and make sure those that are with them are safe as well.
Absolutely, and we have to always remember we're not just driving for ourselves, or we're not the only ones there, but we have to be mindful of everyone around us that's driving.
Exactly. There, you know, that's called defensive driving. You're paying attention to the others on the road. Like I mentioned earlier, that can be others, people in other vehicles, commercial vehicles, people on bicycles, school zones, school buses. So there's a lot of people on our roadways in a variety of different methods. And it's just, you know, paying attention and making sure that you're, you know, paying attention to the road when you're behind the wheel.
And one last thing, Donna, if you could give us that website address again for people that may even want to get more information about the traffic laws.
Absolutely. DriveSafeAlabama.org is our website, and you can find information on all the safety things that we talked about here, as well as links to other sites with other safety information.
Very good. Thank you so much, Donna, for being with us.
Appreciate it.
And you stay tuned, and we'll be right back with more of Joy in Our Town.